Long Bowl number 3 here on Monday, April 7th. The United States women's national team rebounded from their She Believes loss to Japan and in a friendly over the weekend beat Brazil 2-0. Trinity Rodman being back and scoring the highlight of the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Lindsey Heaps from the spot, but it was the Trinity Rodman goal that you hang your hat on if you're the U.S. women's national team, if you're Emma Hayes. And the ball there from Alyssa Thompson was perfectly timed. That's a goal scorer's goal, right? To run off the back shoulder in behind, find space, bing, bing, bing. Love it. And they kept a clean sheet, right? That I'm not going to deny that that's a major part of the story of this game, right? Yes, you'd like to score goals, but I think if you're talking about building a World Cup contender in 2027, what you really, really, really want is a team that can play well on both sides of the ball. This is still, the slow build towards a World Cup. All this time left, figuring out who's going to be ready. You were talking about Lily Johannes, who is still a teenager, who looks the part, and maybe she sort of augurs a new golden era of young players for the U.S. women's national team, because I think
her passing ability just blew me away.
We talk about the gap in the men's team between the team that made 2014, the team that failed in 2018, and sort of where we were in 2022 and now almost 2026. And there was clearly like some weird spot where we just didn't develop a lot of kind of top level players, or good enough for the U.S. men's national team. Obviously, the standard is higher for the U.S. women's national team when it comes to players. And I'm not saying there was a gap, but there was always this sort of like, how do we transition from the older crew that won a World Cup in 2019 and is trying to come through, and obviously a lot of this was Ananovsky having to deal with it, the pandemic landing, it kind of forcing his hand to take a team he didn't want to take to the Olympics and all of that. And then, Emma Hayes has to come in and kind of not clean up a mess, but figure out how to move things forward. And winning the Olympic gold medal is a nice launching point. But even you look at that team and you recognize that she was still very much in that process of figuring out who the next wave of players is going to be. And with 2 years ahead of the World Cup in 2027, you can see Johannes, you can see Thompson, you can see Trinity Rodman being healthy and scoring goals. We could talk about Jaden Shaw and all these players. I'm very excited for that World Cup, because I think we're going to see almost an entirely new group of players outside of a couple of World Cup holdovers, and that'll be good.
So the starters from this recent game versus Brazil, it was a friendly. Fallon, Tullis, Joyce, Emily Fox, Tara McCune, Emily Sonnet, Crystal Dunn, Sam Coffey, Lindsay Heaps, Ali Sentnor, Trinity Rodman, Katarina Macario, and Alyssa Thompson. So pretty stacked lineup. And then the aforementioned Lily Johannes coming off the bench had an impact. And I'm just excited for the future, for the big tournaments, of seeing Johannes. Hopefully she continues this, rate of improvement as she has. Yeah. Like you said, still a teenager, but her passing with the athletic ability of the number of forwards with Macario, Rodman, Thompson, and the others that weren't even on this squad, seeing her passing ability mixed in with the forwards that are in the pool, you got to get excited for what's to come in the bigger tournaments ahead. For now, it's more friendlies. United States women's national team takes on Brazil again tomorrow at 10:30. Your point?
I would say that, and I was reading up on some things this weekend and checking up on this game and the state of things with the U.S. women's national team, and I think that the people that pay closest attention will tell you that one of the areas that is most important for the U.S. women's national team to figure out, and this is what Emma Hayes has to do, is to find a goalkeeper. To find a goalkeeper who can take over for Alyssa Nair and take up that mantle of being the number one, because we remember how spoiled we were with the men's national team, right? We had Friedel, we had Keller, we had Tim Howard come through. We haven't had Brad Guzan for a while. I thought maybe he was going to push his way in. Ultimately, Howard held on, and now we're worrying about Matt Turner's playing time, and hey, is Patrick Schulte ready? And is there anybody, is Gago Slonina finally going to merit paying attention to his promise at this point? And I think he's not even playing, at a finger injury or something. But for the women's national team, it's kind of been the same thing, right? We went from strength to strength to strength, and now here it is, kind of an open competition to win the women's national team number one. And I don't think there's a clear, Tullis Joyce starting in this game against Brazil, but is there a clear option here? You've got Casey Murphy, you've got Jane Campbell, a couple of other candidates that are floating around.
Well, I feel like there's probably more options for on the women's side with having such a strong domestic league right here. There's a lot more to pick from, and a lot more American goalies probably getting more playing time. So there's maybe a little bit more to pick from, and I don't know if this is the right way to put it, more to shop from, and more players available to look at easily, regularly, domestically. But yeah, grasping at straws just a little bit there. Like when you're trying to think of who, there isn't one just strong, just slam your fist down, no doubt about it just yet. Are any of these, I mean, is there room for them to grow? Is there a younger one that's maybe coming around? I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
is there a fan favorite even at this point? Is there
You're
any
t-
consensus?
you're 2 years. I don't think so. I don't think so. You're 2 years away from the World Cup. A little bit more than that. You've got a 28-year-old in Tullis Joyce who started against Brazil. We'll see what Emma Hayes does with her options in the second game. Will Mandy McGlenn get an opportunity to play? She's the 26-year-old at Utah. Again, Casey Murphy. There is not an obvious, okay, let's throw this person into the mix, this player into and that is who we think is going, like, no, somebody has to kind of grab the job. But with limited games, and although the women's play more games, it seems, than the men, with limited games, that's a different kind of audition than it would be for a club team.
Yeah, no doubt about that. If you guys have not subscribed to Morning Kick Around just yet, what you waiting for? Hit us up, Morning Kick Around on youtube.com. We are looking to increase those numbers. This is an interactive show, so the more people subscribe and the more people commenting, the richer this American soccer conversation becomes. So please subscribe to the channel and tell your people to do so as well. You can also hit the thanks button to donate to the channel. A couple people have done stickers and various other things to help support the channel. We are working towards sustainability and then to growth. So please do that. Subscribe. You can follow along on social media at mkickaround on X, Instagram, and Blue Sky. You can even write us an email if you want to write something a little bit longer, more thoughtful than comment on the video. morningkickaround@gmail.com is a great place to do that. And if you like bonus content and also want to support, coffee.com/morningkickaround. We've got a couple bonus segments on there for the folks who donate. You can do a one-time like $5 donation, or you can add a little bit more, or something reoccurring like a monthly donation, for example. So be sure to do that if able. And we're also a podcast now. A new addition to Morning Kick Around's roster of content. You can take us on the road in your earbuds, wherever you get your podcast. Just look for Morning Kick Around.